Hey everyone, so let's talk about what I would say are the main differences between a high-end flagship phone and then a mid-tier or a little bit of a cheaper phone. Now when you're talking about from within the same company at least. So for this example, I'm going to be using the new Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, and then I will also be using the Pixel 8a. This is $1,100 here in the US. This is $500 or so in the US when they are not on sale. So of course the 8A is going to be their mid-tier, or in Google's case, kind of more like their budget-friendly phone. So of course one big difference, as I already mentioned, is going to be the pricing of them. So once again, $1,100, $500, or if you get the regular 9 Pro, that is about, I believe, $1,000. So it's still about double the 8A. So again, big thing is going to be the pricing. Their high-end flagship is going to, of course, cost more than their mid-tier phone. Another big thing that's going to be different is going to be the cameras. So for one, you'll get more cameras on the higher-end phones compared to their mid-tier phones. The cameras on the flagship phones are going to be a higher quality phone. They're going to have more megapixels in them, and they're going to be able to do more things. So in the case, again, of these two, on the 9 Pro XL, you have up to 30 times zoom, whereas on the 8A, it only goes up to 8 times zoom. And then besides from that, you also get a macro lens on the 9 Pro XL, whereas on the 8A, there is no macro lens. So you cannot get nice close-up pictures of things as you can here. Another difference is going to be the starting storage. Will possibly be the starting storage and the RAM amount. So again, with the RAM between these two, you have 16 gigabytes of RAM with the Pro, which is insane. Where over here we only have 8, which is still more than enough for most usages. I mean, most people will be fine with 8. But over here you do have 16, which is insane. But then some other companies, not including Google here, Google still starts out at only 128 gigabytes of storage. So some companies, though, like Samsung, is now starting out at 256 on their S24 Ultra, like here. And then same with Apple, they are now starting at 256 on their Pro Max. Not so much the Pro, that still starts at 128. Another bigger difference is going to be battery life. Usually on the higher end flagship phones, they're going to have better battery life than on their mid-tier phones, especially when you have something that is quite a bit bigger than something else. This will of course have a bigger battery, and that bigger battery, even though it is powering a bigger phone, is going to last a longer time. Another big difference can be what they are actually made of. So again, in this case, the 8A is actually going to be made of, the back of it is going to be made of plastic, whereas on the 9 Pro here, this is actually made of glass. So this is just a little bit more of a premium feel and a little bit more of a premium look to it over the plastic. Another difference might be the processors that are in them. So again, for this example, the 8A is using the G3 processor, whereas the new 9 Pro XL, including the 9 Pro and also the 9, are going to be using the new G4 processor in them, which means they're going to be a little bit faster. And then in this case, they're also supposed to be better with the AI stuff if you are into the AI stuff. But they're going to be, for the most part, a little bit faster, especially if you do anything like heavy gaming or stuff like that. Of course, the higher end phones are going to be a little bit better at gaming or just speed, opening apps and doing things on your phone a little bit faster. For this next example, we're actually going to be switching over to a super budget-friendly phone, the A03s from Samsung versus the S24 Ultra. And this one is actually the opposite, whereas the cheap phone has something this one does not, and that is going to be the headphone jack, as you can see right where my thumb is. So this actually still has a headphone jack in it. So I would say a decent amount of the budget-friendly phones have headphone jacks, and a lot of them actually still have micro SD card slots in them as well, to expand your storage. Something this, the S24 Ultra, the over $1,000 phone, does not have either of. And then, like I briefly mentioned earlier, is higher end phones are usually going to be faster than their mid-tier counterparts. So we'll go into Monster Hunter now, which is a game, and you guys can see how they load in here. So the Pro is loaded in, and then a few seconds later, the 8A is going to be loading in. So especially on stuff like gaming or higher end or higher graphically intensive stuff, heavier apps, stuff like that, of course the phone with the better processor is going to load in faster. But now if we go into something like web browsing, we'll just go to bestbuy.com, which is a little bit of a heavier app. Stuff like this, just general use, there's not going to be a whole lot of a difference here. And sometimes actually the mid-tier phone might actually beat the higher end phone. All really depends on which one gets the better signal. But in since just searching the web like this, they're both basically the same. Then one more thing is going to be the displays. So through the camera, you guys might be able to tell this. And if you have one by itself, you're probably not going to be able to tell this either. But usually the flagship phones are going to have a bit of a better display. So in this case, the Pro will actually get brighter. They're both up. We're going to turn both up all the way. So hopefully you guys can tell here. The Pro is definitely brighter. This is still nice and bright, but it's not as bright. If you guys are noticing that with the 8A, that's just from the camera, the weirdness going on the display there. But then too, the colorations are going to be a little bit nicer. The dark tones are going to be a little bit darker, just a little bit better. Again, if they're not side by side, you're probably not going to notice that. But it is something that flagship phones will have over mid-tier phones if you're into the displays. Personally, something that does not bother me. Of course, there are many other things that are going to be different between a flagship and a mid-tier, but these are going to be the main things, at least in my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think. Anything that I missed, leave a comment below. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a good one. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.